Imagine being invited on national TV to meet a secret admirer, only to be blindsided by a shocking confession that spirals into unthinkable violence. This wasn't just a tabloid talk show stunt gone wrong. It was a lethal game of deception that left one man dead, another behind bars, and a jury debating, did the Jenny Jones show push a guest to murder? The infamous same-sex crush episode didn't just end careers. It exposed the dark, dangerous side of reality TV, where ratings mattered more than lives. But Jenny Jones wasn't alone. From Jerry Springer's on-air brawls turning fatal to catch a predator's targets taking their own lives, this was the era when trash TV crossed the line and real blood was spilled. Were these tragedies just the fault of unstable individuals, or did producers share the blame? The lawsuits, the overturned verdicts, and the haunting final words of victims suggest an industry that played with fire and left others to burn. Before we continue, please like and subscribe to support our community. The Jenny Jones Show was a popular talk show that ran from 1991 until 2003, concluding after 12 seasons and roughly 2,000 episodes. The first season followed a conventional format featuring panel discussions, cooking demos, comedy bits, and scripted sketches, standard fare for a 90s daytime talk show. But by season 2, the producers pivoted sharply, overhauling the show entirely. Gone were the lighthearted segments. Instead, Jenny Jones leaned into sensational, often outrageous topics, including tabloid-style shock reveals. One such episode, which later gained infamy, aired on March 6, 1995, when 24-year-old Jonathan Schmitz was invited under the guise that a female friend, Donna, would confess her crush on him. Instead, Schmitz was blindsided when Donna's friend, 32-year-old Scott Ameijer, stepped forward to admit his romantic feelings. The episode, Revealing My Same-Sex Crush, opened with Jenny priming the audience, asking how they'd prefer to confess attraction, privately to avoid humiliation, or dramatically on national TV, gambling on mutual interest. The crowd cheered, but Schmitz allegedly had no clue what awaited him. On air, Ameijer stunned Schmitz with his admission. Encouraged by Jones and the rowdy audience, Ameijer elaborated on intimate fantasies, like a champagne and whipped cream scenario involving a hammock, while the studio audience erupted in laughter. Ameijer's mother later alleged Jenny pressured Scott into behavior he'd never consider otherwise, fearing the host's disapproval. Reports suggest Jones initially wanted Ameijer to kiss Schmitz and present flowers on camera, deliberately heightening his discomfort. After taping, Schmitz returned to Michigan, resuming his routine. He spent that night drinking with friends and arrived home in the early morning. There, he discovered an explicit note from Ameijer. Enraged, Schmitz withdrew cash, bought a 12-gauge shotgun, and drove to Ameijer's trailer. When Ameijer admitted writing the note, Schmitz retrieved the gun, shot him dead, then called 911 to confess. Arrested for second-degree murder, Schmitz's trial scrutinized the events leading to Ameijer's death, including the show's role. Under oath, Jones denied knowing if guests drank beforehand, though she insisted producers would have delayed filming if alcohol was involved, despite having no contact with participants before they took the stage. Some unethical tactics were undoubtedly used. Schmitz testified that producers assured him the secret admirer was either Donna, an ex-girlfriend, or a former fiancé hoping to reconnect. The show's team countered, insisting they'd warned him the admirer could be male or female. Jones echoed this defense in her 1997 memoir and a 1999 People interview. Schmitz's legal team argued his manic depression, combined with heavy drinking and sleep deprivation, left him mentally unhinged during the killing. Jurors later admitted struggling to determine whether Schmitz was fully coherent when he fired the shots, conceding he clearly wasn't thinking rationally. After a 3-day deliberation, the jury questioned whether someone truly stable could coldly shoot another person twice in the chest. Despite these doubts and the show's potential role, Schmitz was found guilty of second-degree murder. Before sentencing, he recited a self-written poem to Ameijer's family, expressing remorse. The judge acknowledged the gesture, but emphasized Schmitz's societal accountability, stating no poem could undo his actions. He received a 20 to 50-year sentence, upheld through multiple appeals, and was paroled in March 2017 at age 47. Though Ameijer's killer was imprisoned, his family felt justice was incomplete. They argued Jones and her producers shared direct blame for the shooting. A civil jury agreed, initially awarding the Amaigers $25 million. Warner Brothers attorney Zazie Pope condemned the ruling, warning it would stifle TV's ability to ambush guests with shocking reveals, essentially killing trash TV's appeal. This argument persuaded higher courts, and the verdict was overturned. Jenny Jones wasn't the only show linked to violence. On The Jerry Springer Show, newlyweds Ralph and Eleanor Panitz accused Ralph's ex-wife, Nancy, of stalking them. Days after taping, the couple murdered Nancy in Florida before a failed escape to Canada. In another case, Texas prosecutor Louis Conrad Jr. died by suicide when SWAT arrived after his appearance on To Catch a Predator, where he'd solicited a minor. Similarly, Megan Wants a Millionaire. Contestant Ryan Jenkins murdered his wife, model Jasmine Fiore, mid-season, then took his own life. VH1 scrubbed all traces of the show. Like those episodes, the Schmitz-Ameijer segment never re-aired. So was Jenny Jones. Partly responsible? Share your thoughts below and explore more bizarre history in our other videos.